Today we're going to take a quick look at my team associated T6.2 stadium truck. Last weekend I took it up to Force Raceway in Jonesboro, Arkansas for March Madness 5.0. I was able to TQ the class and I ended up finishing second in the 8-minute long A main. It was a really close race though, so you never know. A few bobbles less here or there, could have been on top of the box. So I thought my truck was set up fantastic and really easy to drive. So I just wanted to run through my setup and just show you, what I did to make the truck perform so well. So starting with the tires, I used J-Concept Smoothie 2s. I ran the gray foams, front and rear. The only difference is for the front, which is this one here, I ran a sidewall insert. The grip level at Force Raceway, I would say, started out on the lower end of the spectrum. Then once the track started to get some rubber on it, it was between medium and high. Could it get a little higher? I'm sure after, they run it one more day, it'll probably be at the very high spectrum. So that's what this truck will be set up for. So let's take a look at some of the components, electronics within the truck. So I'm running a Hobby Wing G3R 13.5, a ProTek 30mm high voltage fan, a ProTek lithium high voltage 6400 2-cell Shorty battery, which provided a ton of punch as well as no fade. Even over the 8-minute race, I was still able to clear all the jumps. I'm running a Hobby Wing XR10 Pro ESC with the Hobby Wing non-polarity Pro modified capacitor, because this actually is a modified truck that I went ahead and converted to run in the 13.5 class just for last weekend. I have a Futaba 334 SVSE receiver. For my steering servo, I'm running a ProTek RC 160 TBL, which is a fantastic choice for stadium truck because due to their durability as well as torque and speed. So I do recommend this low profile servo if you run stadium truck. I am running a ProTek RC servo horn. And it's a 15.5 millimeter horn specifically for the AE vehicles. Other durability options I'm running are a Team Associated Factory Team aluminum belt cranks, as well as the aluminum front bulkhead. I'm running the Factory Team 3.5 millimeter ball cups, as well as the Lunsford 3.5 millimeter Punisher turnbuckles. In my shocks, I'm running the machine shock spacers. I'm also running the Shell titanium top screws, which actually I'm a really big fan of these. It's no secret I love Lunsford, but I think Shell is now kind of taking the place of Lunsford with their high quality titanium screws. So definitely check them out if you're looking for a really nice premium titanium screw set. In my diff, I always run the ProTek ceramic diff balls, as well as the ceramic thrust bearing, which you can get from ProTek. I also run the Factory Team ground, or I guess ground diff washers in my stadium truck. I also do this for my buggies as well. I'm running the Team Associated Factory Team lightweight components for the slipper assembly, which is both the slipper pads as well as the slipper bolt is made out of titanium. And that pretty much, one other thing here, the Team Associated Factory Team carbon fiber top plate. So this has the B6.2/3/4 style servo mount installed. So that pretty much wraps up the option parts. So let's take a look at the setup now. So starting at the rear end, I run the 8.5 millimeter hexes on the rear. My shock positions, I'm running the shocks leaned all the way in on the tower and actually all the way in on the arm as well. So with these T6.2 style arms, you can see that there's 2 holes on one side and 1 on the other. So that's actually 3 different lower shock settings. I use the inside one. I run my rear hubs all the way down, so at 0 setting. For the diff height, as you can see, let me get it wiped off here so you can see it. I run the diff at +2. For the rear camber links, I'm running 2 millimeters of spacer for the outer ball stud, and the ball stud mount I use 1 millimeter spacers. For the inner camber link, I'm using the middle hole on the camber link mount, and I'm running 3 millimeters of ball stud washers under that ball stud. I run the short wheelbase, so my rear arms are shimmed forward. All right. And we'll circle back through to get to the shocks. We'll do the whole shock package. I run the lay-down transmission with the lay-down waterfall brace. The battery is all the way back, which is going to be at the 4F setting. I do run the aluminum servo plate, but nothing under the steering servo. As far as gearing, I'm at 25/72, and that's with the Hobbywing G3R. So let's take a look at the front now. So in the front, I'll go look at it this way. I have the shocks all the way out on the tower and all the way out in the arm. And this helps with stability, kind of calms down the truck during turn-in. I run my front hubs at the +2 position, so there's a 2 millimeter spacer on the bottom and a 1 millimeter on top. I run my camber link on the A hole, which is the inside hole of the steering block. And then I use the 4F blocks in the front. I run no bump steer washers under the outer steering ball stud. I run the +1 steering arms. On the steering rack, I'm running just a 1 millimeter ball stud washer, and this is all to correct the bump steer. On the inner camber link ball stud, I'm running just a 1 millimeter ball stud washer in the center hole of the front camber link mount. I do run the kit T6.2 stabilizer bar assembly in the front. As far as the front blocks, I have running 27.5 degrees of caster total on the truck. So that's going to be the 25 degree block forward, and then a 2.5 degree insert in my steering block. So let's take a look at the shock package now. So it's a 12 millimeter shock package that I run here. I run 32.5 in the front, 30 in the rear as far as oils, and that's Team Associated Oils, whatever CST that is. I run the 9 millimeter offset spring cups on the front and the rear. I run a 3-hole 1.4 millimeter hole piston in the front and rear. The only difference is I run the standard, flat machine pistons in the front, and then the tapered factory team pistons in the rear. I run the kit amount of droop, or I guess the shock stroke, which I'd have to look and see what that is. I think it's around, don't quote me on this, I think it's 27.5 in the rear and around 23 or 24 in the front, but you're gonna have to check your manual for that. So I just run the kit stroke. And then the springs. I'm running the buggy rear V2 springs. These are gray V2s for the buggy rear. In the front, I'm running a blue V2 buggy front spring. And that pretty much wraps up the setup of the truck. Now, as far as the body, I run a J Concepts finisher body. This is just a practice body that I was using. So I do like the way this body handles, though. So I know it's a pretty old body style, but seems to perform really, really well. So anyway, if you are a stadium truck racer, you have a T6.2, or you're interested in stadium truck, anyway, I hope this whole walkthrough helps you out and get you going faster at the track. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe.